Welcome back. I missed you. Well, I
Yeah,
see you every day, but like
I was gone.
in this setting,
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's nice.
Uh, cat and cat tattoo talk.
That's it.
What are we talking about today?
Whatever your little heart desires.
Nightmares? Tattoo nightmares? I don't know.
Get us started. Give me a story.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, okay, I'll have to say, like, I've been really blessed with the industry because you do hear a lot of chaos that goes on.
Yeah.
And especially in the Sioux, like, our clients are phenomenal.
Yep.
We have I don't have much to say about anyone in the Sioux. Like my experience in Toronto was different just because you have just different walks of life, and
Yeah.
it's more like ha-has,
Okay, give me the ha-has.
ha-has. I had a girl fart when I was tattooing her, but it was like
But
her
were you
ass was in
tattooing her ribs or somewhere near her?
no, no,
Oh.
no. She was got the bent over, and I was tattooing her lower back.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just pretended it didn't happen. I would be mortified. Like that's something that I would do as a client or something, and then I would just like want to go crawl in a hole.
That's like one of those things. When I first started tattooing, they're like, "Oh man, like women sit great, but it's something about tattooing like their midsection. I don't know, it's like a nervy thing where they just end up gassy." And I was like, "Oh god, it's never happened to me, thank God." But
Yeah.
it was a little talk that had to be had. Nerves,
Yeah,
people get nervous.
They do for sure. I'm like, my hands sweat profusely when I'm getting tattooed.
Yeah, tattoo sweats are real.
Yeah, like I get so sweaty, and I'm like, I've been getting tattooed for so long. I shouldn't be like this, but it just
It's just your body's reaction to it. It doesn't
sure.
matter how many times you've been tattooed. It's just like, oh, we're doing this again.
And it's such a reality check. Like when I'm in the chair, and then I'm like, I can't believe people let me do this to them. Like this is
Every time.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just got tattooed when you were away.
Yeah.
You get your
I
big
got I
old
got
fish.
a hammerhead. A
You
fish.
do fish.
I got a hammerhead done in Cuba. It was nice.
Um, you said he did it in like 40 minutes. He 40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
That's
It's something
nuts.
about that coil.
I don't know because that other guy, I think we talked about him before on the podcast, where he does a whole back in like half an hour, and I'm like, I don't understand how you line that
Yeah, or
like
like a
that.
full color sleeve in a 2
No,
hours, 3 hours tops.
no,
Full wrap.
I suck. I don't understand.
I don't know. That's my horror story is that I can't tattoo like that, I guess.
I think that's actually why I don't love doing color, even though I literally did it today. Um,
It slows you down.
it slows me down, but one of the very first tattoos that I did that was color, the person got a minor infection,
Yeah,
and it
you had
scared
mentioned
the
that.
shit out of me because it's such a different application.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I never really felt fully confident in it. And then I also didn't paint or draw or anything in color like I do now, but that's been in the past like year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand the color wheel. Like I still don't fully grasp. It seems so simple. It shit's not.
Yeah, spend some time with Sarah. She can tell you.
Yeah, when she was like, put the red in the purple, and I was like, what? Oh, yeah, you're a hairdresser.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
If anyone's going to understand the color wheel better than anyone,
It,
it would be a hairdresser.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're so good. Didn't you go to hair schooling?
Yeah.
All the things.
Color theory, it's up there.
You're good at color.
I'd like to think so some days.
Do you like to do like would
No.
you oh just shut that down.
No,
Don't
like
come here for color. Just kidding.
it's the same thing. It's the application, but it's also like not even just like mixing colors.
Yeah.
It's taking into consideration the undertones of their skin
Yeah.
because you have to pay
Yeah.
attention to that to figure out
Of
how the
course.
color is going to heal. And that fucks me every time where I'm like, it's not paper, it's not
Yeah.
color on white.
Right.
And it's never color on white. Even if they're the whitest client you have, they'll have some sort of pink, red undertone, yellow.
Right.
Yeah, so
Messes it a bit.
color is scary.
And then the reds with allergic reaction
Yeah. And then
always freaks me out.
I'm just very vocal about like my hate for like purple pigments,
Yeah,
like
why?
violets.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I've never met one I liked. I just
For
haven't.
you?
I haven't. Every time someone's like, I want lavender, I'm like,
Do you?
no, you
You're
don't.
not getting it. What's your plan B? Oh, I do think, I don't know if it's a trend, but seeing tattoos where people are doing everything in red or everything in blue,
Hmm.
I think it looks so sick.
I like it.
Or like a brown. So it
Ooh,
looks like a,
like almost like henna.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen like, yeah,
That.
Like a sepia tone.
What is that word you just made up?
I did.
What did you? I heard serpent.
Sepia. Is that how, am I saying that correctly? Sepia?
I'm
It's
done.
like,
This is just making me look
it's a
bad.
brown tone, like a brown filter. Like when you do, you do a brown filter. It's in photography.
That's another thing you're trained in.
yeah.
I got one skill. You're like, here's my arraignment of artistic talent. That's cool.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like I've seen that done really, really nicely. Red always looks cool. Deep, almost like royal blues as like
Yeah.
the solid color. And then I've also been seeing a lot lately where people are doing the like Dutch China blue.
Yeah, I had the thing come up on Instagram and it was all over his
Oh,
fingers. It was
so
stunning.
nice. It's so nice. And
Yeah.
then when I was in Cuba, the guy that tattooed my leg, he has variations of greens from like dark to light green, just like paint swipes on his arm.
Oh,
And he's
that's
just like
neat.
he's like screw the blackout, do do solid color. And I was like, what? He's like, just do solid color. He's like, his one arm has been blacked out for like 12 years.
Wow.
He's like, this side, he's like, I think I'm gonna finish up the green. I'm gonna do all green. He's like, I think I might do red down here. And I'm like, what? We're gonna
I didn't know you
do.
could do that. I mean, obviously
I
you
mean,
can.
yeah, I
Why
mean,
not?
you treat it like a blackout, but do it full color.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
That's sick. Would it
Rainbow
cover?
people.
Would it rainbow people?
Well, it would cover if you did like, okay, so it's like with a blackout,
Mm-hmm.
the best application is on virgin skin
Okay.
because you're just like hammering over already previously scarred skin. It does pull through. Like we've seen
Right.
my leg where you can see like with the barometric pressure change, like when your tattoos raise, the like girl that I have on like my inner thigh, you see the outline of her like hood and her hair and her lips through the
Yeah.
black, and I'm like, it's a ghost woman in my
Ghost
black
woman.
leg.
I'm still here.
Yeah, so like I imagine the same thing would be if you're doing a full solid color application, virgin skin is your way to go.
Right.
So I mean, if we want to start throwing that idea out to people, have you ever thought of a full red arm?
That's cool.
Rainbow people.
Rainbow people. I'm into it.
I like it.
I really like that piece you're working on. I'm not gonna name drop because I don't know his name. But it's the like lightning
Oh,
zombie.
zombie
that looks
veins.
so cool.
Yeah,
The
it's fun.
blackout that's because are you doing color behind that too, or is it?
So the blackout's like blackout to the ditch, and then we're doing like zombie veins. So it's like he's infected, and it's like the rot takes in, like it's like rot from like the ditch to wrist, and then the veins are like the infected.
So cool. It's not my cup of tea. Like I think it's so cool though.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's nuts.
So when he suggested it, I was like,
I
let's
just
do it.
yeah, like it looks like so real that I'm like that's scary. Like
Yeah.
Lex is gonna crush that kind of stuff. She just loves all like the gore.
Gore.
And I'm like, it's never been my thing. I think it's sick, but I just,
Yeah, I just can't like visualize that stuff. But
Yeah,
I also
yeah.
like, I don't think you and I either actively like watch horror and
I hate it. I
exactly.
hate the dark.
I hate
Don't
the
scare me.
dark.
When everyone scares me at work, I get so mad. I'm like, it's working. I'm scared. I don't want to be
Don't do it
scared.
again. Yeah, like she's gonna slay at that because like
Yeah.
she watches horror films to go to sleep. So like of course she's going like she already knows how to make that visual and to keep I don't know. I can't. I did like one gory piece last year and it took
yeah.
every iota of my being to come up with something that hasn't already been done to make this like slasher guy with like it was almost like the pin face guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't watch scary
Pinhead?
movies. I can picture him.
Pin face
He's
guy.
got like a
Pinhead.
grid on his face, and then it's like the things
Yeah.
coming out.
Similar to that, where he had like nails and stuff sticking out of his face, but then I made it like his mandible was detached and his jaw was like hanging, and it was gross.
I have enough trauma in my life. I don't need to watch scary movies. Like, I have enough stuff to have nightmares about.
I can't sleep.
I watched Scream for the first time like a couple weeks ago. It was good. It was actually really good.
Scream isn't scary, is it?
Were you not there?
No.
I yelled
Oh,
several times, but it's like the door closed really loud, and I wasn't expecting it.
oh,
I'm
so it's like the jump scare aspect of it. That's what I
Yeah.
don't like about thrillers
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Or like in psychological thrillers where you have like they pan the camera and you're like, oh no, no, no,
No,
no, no.
no, don't look at me.
There's gonna be something and I don't want to see it.
No, like Exorcist stuff, I can't do.
Oh, I love
anything.
The Exorcist.
No, because it's too real. It's too real. And then I'm like, I feel like that energy's around me now.
Yeah, it's just sage, just a little.
Yeah, no, I'm a witch, but like, then I just. Oh my God, a client got a boner. I knew I had a story.
Okay, tell me.
So good. Okay, so I'm.
Throws the stim toy.
I feel kind of. I felt so bad for this kid, and again, I don't know if it had to do anything with like getting tattooed, and I'm not going to say it was because of me, but like, you know, when you're tattooing the inside bicep,
Were your boobs
they
on
were
his
out.
arm?
They were out and resting. I would have gotten a boner if it was some chick resting on me like that. Like it was a view, but I wasn't like I was, you know, early in my career, and I wasn't like my spatial awareness and how to lay clients properly. I just didn't really have that knowledge.
Yeah.
He's a young buck. He's probably like 19, first tattoo.
14.
And I can just see him kind of like shifting in his chair a bit. And I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, you in pain? And he's like, no, I'm fine. He's getting super awkward. And like,
no.
we're ready to look for like if they're going to pass out or anything. So I'm like really trying to pay attention to his body language. And he's like shifting his gray sweatpants.
Oh no.
And it's full 10. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, we're going to take a break. Do you want water? Do you need anything? And he's like, I'm good. And then I didn't address it, walked away, came back in 10 minutes, and
everything was fine.
I put a sweater on and we were fine. Just kidding, I didn't put a sweater on, but that'd be funny, imagine. Just come back, full hood.
Don't worry, clients, you'll never have that problem with me. I have no boobs. It's like I always think of that though, because it's always like in that little
there.
position
like
where the hand is there and it's like almost
Yeah.
like a perfect boob cup. And I'm like,
Yeah, I'll rest my skin into you. Yeah, and I don't even notice it half the time.
oh God,
Yeah,
that's something.
that's not really a horror story. It's
It's not a horror.
funny.
It's a
I
little.
felt bad for him. Like that, I would be mortified if that my little lady boner showed. I don't know how that would happen, but you know.
I don't know how that would happen, but I mean, yeah, I guess I get it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have shame around my sexuality. I probably wouldn't care, to be honest, but I don't know. That's my story.
Oh my goodness.
What else do I have?
What else?
Well, the last one I talked about, the guy pooing.
You did.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of other people like voiding their bowels during appointments.
that's so sad.
Like, there's
Like,
one that's been going around Instagram for years where like a guy literally left like something about him swallowing a rock at some point and he pooped and then asked to retrieve his poop because the rock would be in it or something. I'm gonna have to find you
he
this story.
wanted the rock?
He wanted it. It was hilarious. I feel like tattoos were made of this story. Like, I'll have to.
We'll clip it.
We'll clip it. We'll clip it. But yeah, things like that happening where like, why are clients getting like completely naked for like an ankle tattoo?
That's
There's
a story.
another one!
Okay, no, that happened. Oh my God, that was like a year ago, and this kid was getting. What was he getting? He was getting like his his lower leg done, and he like comes out in boxers, and I'm literally on my knees stenciling his lower leg, and I'm not paying attention, and he's literally like holding his shirt up, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stencil your leg. You're literally like 12 years old. I'm not looking at your abs you don't have. No, I don't talk to 12-year-olds, but he was like a kid. He was like 19. And why are you lifting?
The one that wore the tidy whities and was
Do you
like
remember
half
this?
naked,
And he was lifting up his shirt when I was stenciling his lower leg. Like, all you had to do is lift your pant leg, but like if you want to drop your drawers, like I don't.
I've had that happen too, where I had a guy that worked for like border services, but like on the ships.
Yeah.
Just got off shift and they're in their fucking uniform, and he's like,
sorry, this is what I have.
I was like, oh,
We're doing it.
yeah, because we did like the, what is it, cock below the knee, pig above the knee, because pigs float, and you do the rooster because they sink. Sailors.
I know nothing. Thank you. Riley hasn't heard it either.
Float.
People.
That's why pigs make it to islands and are like the main meat, because cows and stuff, you have to take them over on a ship. But if ships sink or get robbed or whatever, the pigs that are there, they still float their way there. So it's like a sailor thing.
What did cocks do?
The roosters, they sink. I'm
They
pretty.
can fly.
I'm gonna Google it. They can't.
They have wings. Is this like, oh, what was that Jessica Simpson meme?
Uh,
Like back in the day, because she was so dumb and she thought
I'm
something
looking
could
it up.
fly. She's
Sailor,
not dumb. She's very talented, but
pig, float, rooster. Oh, we're gonna
we're
find it.
getting it in lifetime.
The pig and rooster tattoo. Neither the pig nor rooster can swim. So what does the pig and rooster mean in the Navy? So pig on the knee, safety at sea, cock on the right, never lose a fight.
I like it.
Yeah. So
We should get that.
at the end of the day, dude undressed whole uniform for me to do. Pig on the knee. Opposite. Pig on the knee, cock on the right. And I was like, all right.
Let's get it.
It was like my first 6 months of tattooing.
Nice.
I was like, is this necessary?
Fully nude, just getting tattooed. Was he in the Navy?
He's like border services. So
Oh, you said that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, but I don't know if he would have done Navy time or whatever, but it's usually like those guys.
Cool.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah, like some trad.
I did those. The
trad.
cock on the right, never lose a fight.
Yeah,
Pig
yeah.
on the knee, safety at sea. My brain doesn't work. to
There's
remember
other
all
ones
these
people
things.
do, like the swallow for
Yeah.
like whatever. Go home. I don't know.
Yep. There's a lot of origins in
there's-
tattooing.
Yeah, so much.
I feel like we can touch on that one day.
For another
There's like a
podcast.
lot. There's so much. Yeah, like even with the nautical stars. Because that was like a sailor thing, but then it was also like stolen by the lesbians at one point.
Nice.
They'd have it
Nice.
out like under their skirt and they'd like lift their leg.
Oh,
in a
that's how
box
you knew.
to be like, we're the same kind,
We
kind
were
of
the
thing.
same kind.
Yeah,
What was it?
with the nautical stars.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. And the upside down pineapple is swingers.
yeah, it is.
Okay. It's like, what are the other ones?
Yeah, yeah. Pineapple decor in a home.
Yes.
A little. Woo.
It's fun going on
Upside
over
down
there.
pineapple is definitely like a swinger thing.
Ugh.
Man, there's so much lore in tattooing
Yeah.
throughout different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
I feel like a lot of people don't know, and then they get certain tattoos, and you're like, do I tell you that this is what this means? And then you make a decision. Because, hey, you fucking live that life.
Yeah. There's like, I don't know why that made me think of people when they get like Chinese characters.
Does that happen still?
Yeah.
Riley, when's the last time we got requests for a Chinese simp? Really?
I did them.
Oh. I mean, I'm not, like, you can get it done. I don't know. Whatever you want.
It's not as often, but like it just just made me think of like Chinese characters when it's like, do you know what those say? And then it reminded me of the guy that does like, he's like an American guy and he lived overseas and he can speak like Mandarin and whatever other languages like really fluently.
Mm-hmm.
And he has Kung Pao Chicken tattooed on his arm. And he does
Aw.
like reaction videos to like locals being like, haha, Kung Pao
That's
Chicken. I wonder
funny.
if he knows he has Kung Pao Chicken on there. And then he's like, yeah, I know. It's my favorite dish. Like-
That's so good.
but I've seen things where it was like, people are like, oh yeah, this is like the character for love. And someone's like, no, man, that's his fridge.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. That's not what we think it is.
are we trusting Google?
I can't even do English. So, like, if you wanted me to tattoo another language on you, like, you're 100% providing that for me.
Yeah.
Please.
Spelling.
Spelling horse rules?
I have one.
Do you?
I'm sorry to the people I've fucked up in the past. Yeah, a couple years ago I was sent coordinates and I was supposed to do matching coordinates on these sisters. And the one sister goes first and I'm doing the final wipe of the tattoo and her sister's sitting there going, like, I don't think that's right. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah.
They approved a stencil.
I know they approved the stencil. It's bad. So like
that
one
makes me
sister
sweat.
got character, like her coordinates wrong.
Oh, no.
Wrong. And then bless her sister for like being like, yeah, you can do mine. We fixed the coordinates. She
Oh.
got the right coordinates and I
Nice.
had to do the whole like, now you're going to learn how to poorly take care of your tattoo to kind of like pick it out during
yeah.
the healing process. And then she had to come back. I blasted over it with like skin tone, waited another like 12 weeks. And then we finally got the coordinates over top. But well, I think that's probably the main one that happens quite a bit
Yeah.
is like
yeah.
not double checking spelling even after approving the stencil, have another set of eyes because, like, yeah, you said it, and you're like, I'm dyslexic, man. Like,
Oh, hard.
so, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I always triple check. I had one like years ago, probably like 5, 6 years ago, where she was getting, I think, a Beatles quote or something. And then we showed it to her. She approved it, but we were going off of what she had sent us. And then like a week later, she was like, oh, I tattooed it where it was grammatically correct, but in the song it wasn't. But it's what her phone must have auto corrected.
yeah.
And then so she was kind of like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like we
I
can
do that
remove
a
it,
lot.
but
Like, I'll be like Googling it and be like, hey, but this is what they wrote in the email.
yeah,
Like, is this how you want it written? Or
yes,
do you want it written like the saying or what it is from this like blurb of a poem,
for sure. Now I would
this
do
line
that.
in a
Yeah,
song?
you learn.
Yeah,
But
the triple check.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah, you need
it's
to.
like, I feel like it's happened a couple times where we've been like, okay, well, I'm sorry it is what it is for today, but like, pick out your tattoo. As much as I hate to say it, and we'll blast over with skin tone and try it again.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened very much. So I'm trying to think. I can't really think of much for. I mean, the 6 years we've been open. It doesn't happen often, thankfully, but it's. Oh, that's a good story. Went in the mirror. Remember? Your client looked at their tattoo in the mirror when they got home. Poor girl, though. That's devastating. I would have
I
a heart.
don't
No, I would have a
remember.
heart attack if I went home and you're like freaking out.
I do not remember.
I kind
This
of
was my client?
Yeah, you tattooed, was it a letter or a word? Number? Oh, number. A number behind the ear. And then she went home
Oh,
and was looking, so this client went home and was looking behind her ear, and her camera was flipped on her phone, and then her
oh my
dad
God,
was
I
like,
vaguely
so
remember
she's
that.
showing her dad on whatever, FaceTime or whatever, took a picture of it, and her dad's
Oh,
like,
and
it's
it's a mirror
backwards.
image for him too. I
Yes.
was like, there's no way I did that
And
backwards.
she
There's no
calls, and
way.
of course, then you're gonna have a heart attack because you're like, there's no way I tattooed a backwards number on you.
Yeah, I think it was a
And
7.
yeah, but she can't see it.
Yeah, it's behind the ear and you're looking at it on a flipped
Yeah.
camera. That makes sense. Yes, I remember that very
Yeah.
vaguely. But
And so when she came back in, we had to explain it to her to be like, no, what you're looking at, the mirror's flipped when you're looking at it, so it's gonna like I look at it as a viewer, it's on you properly,
yeah,
but when you're gonna look at it, it's gonna be
flipped.
yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of reverse tattoos, today while I was tattooing, I was shown a tattoo. They're matching tattoos, and the girl that went first, they were getting 999 matching. For whatever reason, somehow the tattoo artist did the entire 999, but it's PPP.
No, I'm fucking so dyslexic.
But how?
How do you not look at the stencil and be
I
like,
don't know.
bro?
I don't know. She showed me the photo, and I was like, "Woo!" I also hate to point out that it's also crooked. Not only does she have PPP instead of 999, it's on like a 45-degree.
What is it? Is it Mean Girls? And the girl puts like the K on her chest, and then it's right in the mirror, and then she's like, and then she turns, and it's clearly the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I would do.
Yeah. Mirrors, they play tricks on you.
They do. Mirrors do play tricks.
Yeah.
Placement, yeah, all that stuff.
I mean,
It's such a tough, because no one's like anatomy, no one's bodies. Like, I mean, all the crooked spines we have. Could I get a tattooed on my spine? I'm like, do you want it crooked as your spine's crooked, or are we
yeah.
going to
Do you
talk
want
about
it?
this?
Yeah. Yeah. Do
'Cause
we
your
want it
spine's
straight
not
down
straight.
your back where your spine should be, or are we going to put it along the bone, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Right? Where is it actually going?
where is it going? Where is it going? I always just like aim for like center of the shoulder blades.
I try and go for what looks good at the eye.
Yeah.
Because if they're showing someone, you don't want them to be like, it's a little off. So you just try to find that middle marker. It does look cool, though. It's a cool place. Like, I like that idea. If you're not doing anything else in your back, I think it looks cool to have.
Something linear like that is always nice, but
Yeah, something down the center.
I'm trying to think of if I have any. I don't have any stories. Right when you said tattoo nightmares, I just thought of the tattoos that I have done that give me nightmares.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, our clients are really good. I have more stories, I guess, of being like a female and an entrepreneur. That I don't love that shit.
Toolbox story. Let's go.
Toolbox story. It got called Modern Day Daisy Duke. Yeah, I went with my lovely father to Home Depot to buy another toolbox. We were bringing on one of the apprentices. We were expanding, anyways.
Yeah.
And so we need another toolbox, and I'm going in, and I'm like, okay, I know which one I need. And I call over this guy, and I'm talking to the worker at Home Depot, and he literally just looks past me, like through me to my dad, and he's like, asked him a question about which, and I was like, and he's like, no, my daughter is the one buying it. You can ask her, because my dad slays, and he's like,
He's like, I'm here with the truck.
I'm here to move it. And then the guy was like, oh, I'm sorry, Modern Day Daisy Duke. And I was just like, what? Okay. Can I just buy the toolbox?
Like, I want the husky, please.
Husky? Yeah, that's happened to me another time. I was buying something similar, and then I was by myself, and the worker was like, oh, are you buying this for your husband? Does he have tools to put in it? And I was like, no. What? I have my own toolbox. Hey,
Mine.
hey, I hang stuff. But like, I just hate that. And I mean, I don't think it's done maliciously. I think people are just kind of people are misogynist. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Give me another one.
John Martella. I don't care. This man, I was at an event. Okay. Anthony and I, my partner and I, get invited to go to this like investors for entrepreneurs group. And we're sitting at this table, and I know who this man is. Super well off. He's done amazing things with his business. And I'm like, oh, I want to ask this guy some questions.
Yeah.
He's talking to Anthony, who's my husband, and they kind of know each other, and he knows what Anthony does for a living. So he's like, how's things going? Blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of chirp in, and I was like, hey, like, I'd love to get your opinion. I have a small business, and like, you've done so well for yourself. Is there any advice you can give me? He literally just goes, oh no, sweetie. If your husband here can work hard enough, you can stay home and do the dishes. Anthony looks at me, and he like sees that I'm like, so he's just like, oh, well, actually, John, she makes more than me. So if anyone's going to stay home, it should be me. And the guy just like didn't know what to say. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, like my wife likes doing the dishes. And I was just like sweating. Like, sir, I literally asked him for business advice at a business meeting. And I told him I had a small business, and he completely just disregarded anything that I was saying. And because my partner has like a societal respected career, that he automatically is going to, no. I can't. That makes me so mad.
Like,
What is that?
I don't even have words right now.
What is that? I almost jumped across the table. Thankfully, Anthony is an
Be
angel.
very ladylike of you.
Yeah, I know. He'd probably be appalled. He'd be like, you can move that fast? You're a woman. Like, no. And the amount of people that come into the business and look at Riley, and they're like, can I talk to the manager? And she's like, fuck you, I am the manager. Or like, can I speak to the owner? I will get a strap on and wear it for you. Like,
little old you walks on behind the wall. Hi.
Why?
Sup?
Why are you so offended that I'm not a man? I just, and I don't love the culture of like woman boss and blah, blah, blah. And we're hyping all of that personally. And if that's what someone identifies with, I think that that's great. And if that empowers you, awesome. I'm a person who works hard. I don't give a shit about my gender identity in that regard.
Yeah.
Man, woman, non-binary, it doesn't fucking matter. I work hard and I have a business. I should be treated as such. It shouldn't matter what I look like. And because some days I fucking am wearing heels and I look like a Barbie, people want to treat me like I'm dumb. I'm fucking dumb sometimes, and I've proven that on this podcast.
I approve this message.
But like, don't belittle me. No. No, it was like the other guy. No. Okay, the basement. I don't know. There's so many now that come to mind as soon as I bring that up.
I feel like you've got 3 more stories. Let's go.
I don't want to be like I'm shitting on men. I have the most amazing father. My partner's fantastic. Like,
Yep.
I have good men in my life.
They're good daddies. I love them.
But because I have such good men in my life, all the other men just seem like such shit. Not all of them, but like, do you know what I mean? Do better at raising your children. Do it like, okay, so we're the basement floods here at Discover the Canvas. They were doing road construction, whatever it happens. So I call the guys that are literally outside, come downstairs, and it's just me. And I'm like, you literally cracked my foundation. I know that you're using a drill right now against the wall. Like they've dug deep.
Yeah.
So they're right like flush with my basement. And he's like, no, that was there before. There's no way we did that. He doesn't know my dad, who's a plumber, is on his way.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm talking about. I don't know the language around it, but I know what I'm talking about. I've grown
Like,
up with
I own this building. Thank you.
yeah, I also grew up with my dad being a plumber. Like I'm not done. You're saying it's a coincidence that you're drilling outside and then now my basement's flooded? Like get out of here. So it's just this floor, like the guy that was in charge was just being a dick. My dad comes down and I don't know if he knew who he was or anything, but right away the guy was like changed his tune and he was like, I'm calling my supervisor. I'm so sorry. Like, and then my dad was just like, yeah, this was obviously you, and like going over the spiel. And the guy just completely changed his tone and just acted like I wasn't there and that the conversation we just had didn't exist.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, are we forgetting about you just saying that you had nothing to do with this?
Yeah.
And then the owner of the company came and was amazing. Like he was really good, and like they went through their insurance and ended up being a fine. Like it was whatever. It was dealt with appropriately. I was like, this guy just thought because of how I appear that he could just talk to me like I was stupid, and that I was just gonna be like, you know what, you're right. Let me just get a mop.
let me get rid of this
superglue
2 feet of water in the basement.
They just
Let me
didn't
just patch that up.
Where's my thing I threw? I need something else to throw. It just infuriates me. I was doing this, I was doing a project, and I got interviewed for it.
Yes.
And this man, which usually I'm like, you know what? You can sexualize me. Go ahead. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Fine.
It was supposed to be professional.
Don't be creepy. Don't be a creepy old man. Like, you're older than my father. Gross. Stop it. So I'm doing this project and doing an interview for it, and they're all asking questions, and we're going through, and there's several artists on the panel, and you can tell that the one guy's in charge. So I look at him, and then I'm like, oh, like, do you have any questions for us? And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, who's your daddy? And I just like didn't know what to say, so I just kind of stood there, and the other artist that was also being interviewed looked at me and she's like, are you okay? And I was just like, my father is Dave Thibodeau and he's lovely. Like, what? And the guy could tell that I was like, what just happened? And he's like, oh no, haha, sweetie, you don't understand, you're too young. Like, that was a joke back in my day. I'm like, yeah, your day's done. I don't have daddy issues. I certainly don't have grandpa issues, and that's where you're standing right now. What is that? We're in a professional setting. It's not like we're chumming around in a garage and it's whatever.
It was an artist panel.
This was like a professional interview meeting. I'm like, and this was on video. I hope that's recorded and I can have it one day. This man tried to run for office after, and I was like, I hate you.
Hate you.
But it's like they clearly, a lot of these people don't get put in their place because they always look shocked, and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, did your head fall off? You think that's appropriate?
No, it's never appropriate. It's just, yeah.
What? And I just feel like I'm sounding like an asshole. But like, then the only issue where we've had to actually ask someone to leave the studio, remember like years ago during the pandemic, the guy wouldn't put the mask on and he was being so rude to Riley, and he clearly was just like
my favorite,
this arrogant,
my most favorite client I've ever had in my entire life.
So arrogant, so entitled.
I love him so much.
And had never clearly goes into businesses, says whatever he wants and gets what he wants because, the customer's always right. He was being so degrading towards everyone that worked there. I just went up there and I was like, you can leave.
Yep.
And he was shocked. Like, he was just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, we don't need your services. You do not get to speak to humans like that. Goodbye.
No. Yep.
And then was
There's
just like shocked. I'm like, yeah, you probably go around talking like this all the time, but no one says anything.
It's a certain breed for sure. Take your money elsewhere.
Please take your money elsewhere. It's not worth it for me.
Yeah, it's that kind of commentary where it's just like, you love the work until you're not getting what you want, or like, yeah, it was like, dude, wear your mask. We're literally like, it wasn't even mid-pandemic. It was like the height of the pandemic. They just let us back to work. We were off for almost 9 months.
Oh, it was awful, yeah.
And it was just like, masks were still required by the province. And he's like, nobody said anything about needing to wear a mask before I came to my appointment.
But first of all, they did, because it was literally in our email. But it's not even our request. This is the government's request.
Public health.
You have to do it to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I just,
Oh, you want me to like walk home and put my mask on? Yeah, if you're willing to do that, go. There's also a pharmacy across the street. You want to go buy a mask?
I think we were even offering to
We were
provide
offering
him
to
one.
get. We had boxes of masks. I'm pretty sure we were going to provide him one, and he still was like, "Well, it's my choice." I'm like, "It's not really your choice at this point." But yeah. And then when you start like hammering into your business, our manager, me as an artist, and like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Riley was just fresh. It was like beginning of 2020.
And I think
it was before they, you know what, shit, it might have been, we weren't even locked down at that point. It was before lockdowns happened, and they were telling, it was after?
It must have been just after.
Either way, like, that kind of, I don't know, man, like.
And then I remember it like provoked us to have a conversation where I was just like, hey, if anyone is ever speaking to you like that, that is not tolerated. You can tell them to leave immediately. Like I will stand behind that 100%. And thankfully it hasn't really happened. Like that doesn't really happen. No. Cause again, like we're super blessed with the clients that we have, but like get out of here. Yeah. No one should be speaking to anyone that way.
No.
Oh, it just fires me up.
Oh, really? Does it? I couldn't tell.
Some people suck, and I'm not saying I don't, because there's days where I'm miserable, but
like anytime we discuss anything like this, I'm thinking back and I'm like, man, I can't wait to hear one day of the shit people would love to say about me, but I'd love to own it at the same time.
For sure. I would be the first one to be like, yeah, I was shitty.
I am far from perfect, but I'd like to think that I don't cross those lines. Man.
Imagine I'm just going to tell people to stay home and do the dishes now.
Do it.
I hope he sees this. I wish I'd
ask men about their passion projects and hobbies.
Oh, do you have like a super lifted truck because you have a small dick? That's
Oh.
Poor thing. No, I just, I know. You know what? All my clients work at the steel plant, and I think that's great. And most of my clients that work at the steel plant are like some of my favorite clients, though. Like they're just like the most easygoing, happy dudes.
Yeah,
and
they come in on their first day of their 4 off, and they're like, I'm gonna nap.
They sleep, and I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
They're great clients.
Do you want a silent appointment? Yes, every time? Okay.
And if you have a lifted truck, I don't think your dick is small. I really don't care. So that was a joke. I'm sorry.
It was a joke.
Don't take it personally. Yeah, I have like, who's your favorite client? I know it's so hard. I have a few.
JP was my favorite client. JP, you were my favorite client.
I just love him, like he's just like such a good friend now that I'm like, how do you even same with Linda? I'm like, obviously you're one of my, she literally said a speech at my wedding. I'm like, you're obviously one of my favorite clients, but you're not even a client anymore. Like you're just like such a good friend.
Yeah, no,
so
it's like clients that come in for their like long-term sit. So like,
yeah,
I love JP. We pick on him. He's our shop dog.
Yeah.
Like he literally, if he has nothing better to do with his day, he's hanging out at the shop. And I'm like, do you have something to do?
Like he was asking today, he's like, when am I going to be on the podcast? And I was like, I don't know. We'll let you know. Talk about racing. Like
you can talk about
how
racing.
You sit like shit, you little bitch. No, he sat really good for his chest.
The what not to do for tattooing. Don't get tattooed the day before a race when you're wearing a fire suit.
Wild.
Folks.
Wild.
Yeah. The ongoing projects like that.
Yeah, I have
a leg sleeve on the go. That's good.
Which one's that?
Chloe?
What is that?
All the like the patchwork pieces with all the naturey bits.
Yeah, that one's cool. I haven't seen them in a bit. Has she been in recently?
No.
That's a cool piece. I love how many people are getting leg sleeves. Is it called a pant? It's like
a pant leg?
Yeah, I mean,
no, I think it's a leg sleeve.
I think it's a pant.
It's a leg sleeve.
I think I have a pant and a half.
A pant sleeve?
But it's not. You don't call it a sleeve.
It's not a sleeve. It's a leg sleeve. I don't care.
Riley? What's your vote? Do you think it's called a sleeve or a pant? People call it a leg sleeve. Yeah, this is a sleeve. This is pant. Yeah. So I think society.
It started with just
the arm sleeve.
It doesn't make sense when you think about it.
I think it should be a pant.
Because it would be a pant leg. You're getting a leg.
Because
a leg sleeve, you don't call this. This is not a leg sleeve.
So basically, the consensus is Riley thinks it's a pant. So do I. Because you call it a suit when you're.
But like in the tattoo industry, it's been called.
It's called a leg sleeve.
No, it's Google isn't.
What are
listen-
tattoo sleeves on legs called? It's called a leg sleeve.
Now Google. Now Google what's a leg pant tattoo.
But that's from the tattoo industry. Like tattoo.
Depends how you type it in, and then it'll agree with you or not. Because Google wants you to stay and
Did
click
you-
on something.
Have you Googled this and they call it a leg pant tattoo?
Yes. No, I haven't.
No.
But you call it a suit when you're suited. Like you're pretty well suited. I know you complain and say you don't have tattoos, but I think that's the most
I
ridiculous.
have no
thing.
tattoos.
I really want to do the TikTok where we guess how many tattoos like everyone in the studio has. And then we were arguing over is it one or would it be like would a sleeve, a pant be
No,
one?
because a sleeve with the intention of it being a full sleeve, like the way you tattoo, where
Yes.
you have your like 4 panels
Yeah.
and it's top to bottom. That's a sleeve.
So it's one tattoo.
That is one tattoo. You know what? That's where we.
I know.
Because then I'm like, but how many sessions? Because one piece of art is a single session,
Usually.
usually.
But a back piece, like that back piece that fucking cool guy that let me do whatever I want on him. I don't remember his name. Matt.
That's a back piece. That's one
He's
tattoo.
nice. Okay, but it took like 8 sessions. So
But
how
it's
is that not the
one
same
tattoo.
argument? Yeah, a sleeve is one.
It's one
It's-
image.
A sleeve would be one theme.
But a sleeve can be broken down.
Riley, whose side are you on? Clearly not mine. I get what you're saying. Like I get what where am I? So it's like one.
One.
2 sessions.
One.
This took 2 sessions.
Yeah, but
If we're counting sessions,
his
Two.
back would not be standalone. Like one
Is
corner
this
of it would look
3?
weird.
But this was done at the same time. Sorry, camera.
one.
Which is my upper bicep. It's a bunny for those who are on Spotify. And then lower arm, I have a portrait of my dad and my grandpa. But then below it, there's flowers. So, like, is this a separate one than this?
Were those done in the same session?
Well,
No.
the portraits took 2, but this was done with the first session with the portrait.
2.
No. And then the hand.
3.
This is a sham. I don't know how we would count it. I
Because
think
if
that'd
we're
be hard.
counting sessions,
It's broken down.
how many freaking tattoo
how
sessions
many-
have I sat through?
Okay, but how many is your neck then? Is your throat 1 tattoo? Or is that 3? Or is it 2?
3. Because it's 3 panels and it was done. Well,
No, it wasn't done in
set.
3, you nut bar. You did it in 2. How did you do? I forgot about that. Does both sides of their throat in one sit. That was insane. I would never do that again.
That was
That's
nice.
nuts. It was nice?
was
Yeah, you like getting
nice.
choked. That's why it was nice.
A nice little.
Yeah. Yeah. Pin you down. Yeah. Ow. I want to get my. I just want to. I think I would do this side though. Right here. Throat me.
1,
up.
2,
You
3.
wrap it up, Riley. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, guys, wrap it up. Where's your microphone? Get out of here.
Who's calling the shots here?
What are we? Oh, okay. We're gonna watch The Golden Bachelor. Are we getting? What are we getting to eat?
Indian.
Okay, what was that dish you were telling me about?
No, that's Greek.
Can we get it all?
Holy fuck, James Brandon.
Can we get it all? I want it all. I just like food.
Me too. I don't want Greek food 2 nights in a row.
Oh, you had these last night? What
Yeah.
were they called again though? The
Spanakopita.
spanakopita. Spanakopita.
Spanakopita.
Oh, sometimes I just, if I was born with an Italian last name, I feel like my life would be so much easier in the city. You don't know what that means? If you have a vowel at the end, well, I do have a vowel at the end of my last name. This will be cut, it's fine. But like, do you know how like, I don't know. Sometimes if you have like the street cred, that reminds me. Oh, we were talking about whether a lawyer or like a criminal defense lawyer or a tattoo artist has more street cred.
Criminal defense, I'm sorry.
Caitlin! Oh my god.
Who's he representing? The fucking street.
Okay, who am I tattooing?
Not the fucking street. You're tattooing the goddamn steel
Everyone walks on the street. I did a poll and obviously it was biased because it was on my Instagram. So I like 90% of people said tattoo artist. But I think it's 50-50. I would thrive in
64.
prison.
You would thrive in prison.
Yeah, because I could tattoo. You know the bitches I would have tattooing?
How are you going to tattoo in prison?
I would
How are you gonna
I would
stick and
smuggle
poke?
it in.
Yeah. How are you gonna tattoo in prison?
There would already be a machine there because they
No,
would
there's
know
no
I was
fucking
coming.
machine. There's no. They use a sharpened end of a goddamn toothbrush.
I would ask someone with an Italian last name to get me one because they have the
They
connection.
fucking. Oh
Do you know
my
how many jail
god!
cards I've tattooed?
Yeah, you
I'm good. I would be so. You would come drop it off. We'd have our conjugal, and then you would bring it in.
There's
Yeah,
no
we would
conjugal.
fuck.
Yeah,
No?
there we would fuck, and she would get a tattoo machine out of. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just kidding. I love Seth. I don't think he'd mind.
No.
Amazing. Next podcast? Let's go. Oh, what's our jingle? Where's Ange? Wrap it up. Wrap it up, Riley.
40 clicks I give you. Just the last 10 minutes of the fucking podcast.
Goodbye.
Yet again,
Do we say anything when we leave?
dude, it's been tattoo talk with
With
Cat
Cat
and
and
Cat. Us.
That's who we are. That's.
They're continuing to listen to us.
And I don't think anyone listens at this point. I don't
It's
think
okay.
anyone's really listened to our
You
podcast.
can listen to us. I get out.
I went to a flower shop. I went to, well, shout out to Flowers with Flair.
Flowers with Flair, we love you.
Sexy ladies. They're so good. I love their flowers. And I went in there and the girl's like, hey, I just listened to your podcast. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. Please don't do that. I mean, listen to it, but like that makes me so anxious.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, what did I talk about today? Absolute trash. Don't listen to that. Don't tell me I said that. I don't want to
I
remember.
love how we were going to talk about tattoo nightmares, and I don't know what we just talked about, but it was. I don't think it was.
It was a nightmare.
It was a
of
nightmare.
sorts.
It was a nightmare that's going to be uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah.
We can ramble. I'm
Oh.
good with the ramble. Thanks, guys.
Oh. Okay. Do we have like a shut off? Like a bye?
Bye. Bye.